Welcome into DC On Screen, the podcast that's been bringing news and reviews of the DC Multiverse on film and television since 2015. I am your host, David Z. Robertson, and I am joined, as most ways, I can't say that.
As most ways?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm your host, David C. Robertson, and I am joined, as most ways, by the incomparable Jason Goss.
Hi.
How you feeling, man?
I'm still smirking at how bad that was. It's fantastic.
Oh, man. Never gonna have to leave it.
It was incomparable.
You bastard. What's happening to me?
Just shake it off, man.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift that shit. Yeah. You got this. I believe in you.
I did want to, in case anyone didn't notice, or if you're new to the show, we put out an episode last week, and there is an extended version of that episode. There's about 8 or 9 minutes extra on that version, and it's exclusively on Patreon, patreon.com/DC on screen. And there is that. From time to time, we have extended episodes. Like, I know we have patrons who are like, you know what? I wanted to hear the 8-minute conversation about golf. I didn't feel like most people would, so I cut it out. But I left it in the extended version.
It's not in the scope of our general. It's not our bailiwick, so to speak. But yeah, we somehow made 8 minutes out of golf, and go for it.
It was fun.
It
was a fun conversation.
That's why we get sidetracked, is we enjoy talking about things.
We don't like golf. We're not like golfers or anything.
I actually do like golf. I'm just not.
Well, you like golf, but you're not a golfer.
Yeah.
We weren't like getting, well, what was the term?
Like if somebody wanted to pay for it, I'll go play right now. I'm good.
We weren't getting inside baseball on golf.
Yeah.
They were just childhood stories. But anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the news that we've got today. A lot of some really cool news. This is not cool news. CinemaCon is happening
there. Yeah, okay.
I know. CinemaCon, this is a warning.
We have some great things coming. Oh, not this first one. Shit, I forgot. That's almost what that sounded like.
I set things up in the notes like this on purpose, just because I know we're going to have some kind of weird banter. So, CinemaCon, it is not a general public ticketed event. It is an annual gathering for movie theater owners. They will be having a screening of The Flash at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas on the 25th of April, right after a special presentation highlighting WBD's upcoming release slate. It'll show from 4:45 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. I tell you all this because the first social media reactions are expected to release online immediately after that, so if you don't want to get spoiled, I would suggest taking intense care on social media. Mute The Flash on Twitter. Just stay away in general, whatever you do. But that is your warning. The movie does not premiere until June 16th.
Yeah.
So be very wary of that. I almost said take intense care on the social meds. But my friend Amy messaged me and said, I heard you say social meds, and the next time I see you, I'm going to punch you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I believe I took you to task on that as well.
Yeah. So I'm a little afeared.
I'm much more a fan of afeared. You said the 25th of April, right?
Yeah, let me. So actually, it's the same day that the new trailer drops.
Right. Yeah. So just watch the trailer is my advice. And then throw your phone in a lake.
Yeah. Watch the trailer and then nope out.
Yeah.
Until June.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want any spoilers to something I've waited for this long. I can wait another couple months. Fuck all that. I might even like mute the lightning emoji if that's possible.
I don't know if that's possible.
We'll find out.
I just take spoilers. I don't care. I'm just like, whatever.
I just want to enjoy a thing.
Yeah. I like to enjoy a thing, but it's it's like, how I didn't care about watching Fringe until you told me, you spoiled like the first season for me, and I was like, holy shit, they're doing that, and then I wanted to see it. Like sometimes it amps me up.
Enticing is one thing, but when I'm already going to do it, then I'm like, no, I don't want the other stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel you. James Gunn posted a picture of the title page of the Superman Legacy script. He says, I'm honored to be a part of the legacy, and what better day than Superman's anniversary to dive fully into early pre-production on Superman Legacy. Costumes, production design, and more now up and running.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, that's happening. That is happening, and he did, by the way, confirm.
You wish you had telescopic vision on that fucking photo, though?
I mean, I don't know what it would help me. You can't see through it.
I mean, I know. I'm just saying. I wish I had like some fucking weird CIA technology that no one knows about where I could. Well, actually, if you do this contrast, you can see the next page.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Someone was like, now show us the first page. And he's like, I just did.
Fair play, you cunt.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And someone asked him, anyone stand out to you in casting for Superman? And he says, yes, we have some incredible choices. I'm incredibly excited and relieved. So they're already doing casting. They're already looking at that.
Just in case you're worried that pre-production part didn't include the word casting.
Mm-hmm. And someone asked if Jimmy Olsen would be in Superman Legacy. And James Gunn said, of course. Which I think, and I hadn't thought of it quite this way in relation to James Gunn, but this made me think this is one of the primary reasons Gunn decided to soft reboot Snyderverse in the first place. Because characters like Jimmy Olsen, those audience proxy characters, they are not really something that Snyder did a ton of. He was looking to really, tell this epic tale about iconic gods. And in fact, Snyder...
He wanted to focus on the mains, for sure.
Snyder killed Jimmy Olsen in his first appearance back in BVS, which, as much as I love Snyder's work, was one of the big points of contention I had years ago. Because to me, killing characters like Jimmy Olsen, or even people like Richard Grayson, the original Robin, aka Nightwing, almost felt like shock value short-sightedness at the time. I mean, now I think, Zack has repeatedly said that the plan post JL3 was to reboot the universe afterward, and that would have worked fine. But I think it is important to note that there are reasons from a storytelling perspective why a new creator would want to reboot. And I think Zack having taken toys off the table, iconic toys off the table, might be a big reason.
And I could see it for sure. I don't mind his version though, as far as the audience proxies are also kind of the weak spots and like the things that get hurt around these iconic characters. So I didn't mind that he kind of showed that, like, yeah, there are consequences. And the people,
Snyder?
Yeah, Snyder. I mean, the people you love don't make it always, like that Grayson costume kind of thing. Yeah,
which that was somewhat of an easy fix if you made him Jason Todd, but
100%.
I'd love to I say I kind of don't want to talk to Zack because I don't have questions, but I do. I'm like, I want to be like, why was it Dick? Like, what exactly? Like, I need to know certain things.
I've always just said that if we talked, we'd probably just talk about Soundgarden for an hour.
Oh yeah,
which I'm perfectly capable of.
I wonder if we ever did get a Zack interview, could I do the first half and you do the second half and nary the twain mix? Like I don't want to talk about Soundgarden.
Yeah, you do the film stuff, and then I just want to bro out about 90s music. That's cool.
Yeah. You sit over there and talk to him about Bruce Springsteen.
Dear God, of all the people.
That's why I said it.
I was taking a sip of pink lemonade. I thought I was going to spit it. I'm glad it was a sip.
Someone on Twitter asked Gunn, I assume you're going to be announcing who you cast as Superman by the end of this month. If not, next month. Is that a correct assumption to make? And Gunn said, it is not.
You have your answer.
No. So, the Russo brothers we know them. They directed Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity Wars, Endgame, all that Marvel stuff.
Some of the more amazing out of what it was already an amazing series of Community.
Yes. And Arrested Development.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So, comicbook.com was talking to those guys about maybe doing a DC project. And they said, obviously James Gunn over there running it, it would be a no-brainer. We love him to death. We love the direction he's going to take that world in. You know he's going to be inventive with it. And favorite DC characters? I mean, man, there's so many good ones. I always answer based on the comics I collected as a kid, and the 2 comics I collected the most were Spider-Man. Actually, the 3 were Spider-Man, X-Men, and Batman. But there have been a lot of iterations of Batman, so I feel like that's an obvious answer. And Anthony Russo added, here's how you know we haven't actually gotten literal about it and specific about it, is because, yeah, Batman would be my favorite character for my entire childhood, but obviously it's been well explored. Now, that kind of set the internet ablaze with the idea that they might be interested in doing Batman the Brave and the Bold. Mm-hmm. And then later at a red carpet event for Citadel, comicbook.com's Chris Killian talked to them and they clarified, we are not directing a Batman movie. Usually we come with a very entertaining fringe character, but you caught us in a moment where we were so tired that we couldn't think of any funny fringe DC character.
Oh, that's funny.
But someone on Twitter asked James Gunn, saying, Russo brothers just said they're indeed interested in a DCU project. Would you be opposed to that idea? James Gunn said, no, I love those guys.
I would have thought his response would be absolutely not or something like that. But yeah.
And by the way, can I just say, because I'll get to it in a minute, but in case you're one of those like, Russo brothers, Marvel coming in, bootlicking, James Gunn lovers, they just had like a whole 2-part podcast, Pizza Film School. This is their podcast, the Russo brothers podcast, where they were geeking out over Zack Snyder's Justice League with Zack Snyder.
I haven't listened to that. I've heard about it. It sounds delightful.
Whole damn interview. It's really not so divided in Hollywood, guys.
No. I feel like if you really let them off the leash, like you caught them like 8:30 in the morning with a Starbucks still in their hand or something. What are you thinking? Like, I don't know, maybe Murmur, Creeper, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Murmur.
It's a very quiet film.
Yeah. It's just it's a murmur and onomatopoeia team up.
And for the first half of the film, we think it's Bruce Wayne, but it's Hush. Just the whole time.
That might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So James Gunn, someone asked him, I'm curious if WB gave you notes on Superman Legacy and how did you receive them? Because his script is done, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Gunn says no, WB wouldn't be giving me notes on a DC Studios production. Since we came on board, we're 2 separate entities within WB. And then a separate person asked, then who at DC gives you notes? And Gunn responds, it's interesting to see the numerous responses to my answer here about how notes work in Hollywood. From when I began writing, I have given my scripts and stories to many different trusted parties for notes. Listening to constructive criticism is the lifeblood for any writer. So as the head of DC Studios, I give the script to people I trust, like my exec Chantel Nong or DC Comics writer Tom King. Hell yeah.
Love that he's involved in that.
I know.
So much.
Me
so
too.
Fucking much. I'm going to buy that man a baseball cap.
And get their thoughts about what works well and what could work better so I can improve the script. To paraphrase Stephen King, first draft door closed, second draft door open. Writing is communication, so this is important. All that said, I've never, as a director, been given notes I was ordered to take. Not from Universal on Slither, from Marvel and the Guardians films, nothing. I've always tried to take the notes that will actually make the film better, and I argue about the ones I think won't work. This process has worked for me because I have been blessed in the partners I've chosen to work with. We are all moving towards one thing, making the movie better. And I can put my ego aside and be open when I need to be and convincing when I need to be. I know this is not the case for everyone. and it wasn't always the case for me as a writer. Again, I'm blessed in this way, but that's how notes work, and I'm not going to suddenly stop taking them because I'm the head of a studio.
It sounds judicious. I like it.
I do too. I'm down. I'm excited.
I really like the clarification, though, that like, no, don't seriously. Let me explain. This is my call.
Mm-hmm.
This is me and Saffron. We're doing this. But yeah, of course he's reaching out to people.
Of course. I love that Tom is one of them.
Yeah. That makes me very happy.
So, in the aforementioned, in the aforementioned Pizza Film School podcast by the Russo brothers, they had Zack on, Zack Snyder, and Snyder was talking about how Justice League was split into chapters to give an intermission for viewers. He says, originally we had talked about doing the movie as 6 parts released separately, but then there were some legal rules, Snyder said. And then Joe Russo said there were things regarding TV contracts for the cast if the movie were split into a series and how payments would be handled differently. Mm-hmm. And Snyder said everyone was like, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what you and I talked about years ago now when Snyder Cut was released, or before it was released. We were like, oh no, it's probably a different kind of TV.
It's a whole different set of rules for TV versus movie, man.
Yeah. Yep. I'm glad to hear that, that was clarified, that we were right. And this was fun. On the same podcast, Snyder said they were discussing the subject of how they go through the writing process for their films, with them both the Russos and Snyder agreeing that they prefer a process of like puzzle-style note cards on a wall that shift and move around as they find the story and the sequences of the film. And Zack says, and so the script for Justice League did evolve out of that process. Now, I'll be honest that what happened with Justice League is that we had the original script was darker and weirder. And then when Batman v Superman came out, and the studio was like, it's not funny enough. People want funnier movies. They want funny stuff. We did go back and do a kind of lightened the movie overall. And I would say that my cut of Justice League is a sort of in between. I always preserved some of the more intense stuff that I shot anyway, that I thought in retrospect they would want anyway.
Clearly.
Making sure, of course, I had what was on the page, but we had this other script. I think in the original script, Lois and Batman got together briefly. There was this whole other thing that everyone was like, oh my God, you can't do that. Because Superman's dead, and I was like, Lois is a pretty amazing person. Her part in Justice League is really, especially since I had Amy. And Amy's like a genius. I really felt like we should lean on Amy because she's just a great actress, a force of nature. And I love the idea of setting up this concept, like in the movie where the husband goes off to war and he's dead and the wife moves on. And then the husband appears like, I'm not dead, I'm fine. How do you deal with that? I was super into that concept that, oh no, Superman can be brought back to life. So now what happens with this? And it was that Lois was like, I'm still in love with Superman. You were a thing. And at that point, Batman had already fallen in love with Lois. I love that idea. And the original idea as well was that Lois would have been pregnant with Batman's baby.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Now, a lot of people hate that too, but that would have thematically really worked really well. Stephen Colbert, I'll post his article in the description, but he lays it out really well in a way I really loved. But thematically going from, there's a line in Man of Steel that had kind of been set up where like Jor-El is talking about loving not just superior bloodlines, essentially, and Superman becoming an adopted son. And at the end, Superman would be
transferring to adopting a son, effectively.
He would be raising Bruce's son.
Yeah.
Bruce Kent. And of course, we know Bruce was supposed to jump in front of the Omega Beams and kill himself or sacrifice himself right before taking out Darkseid to save Lois. And that's also a thing that would have happened, like that was thematic within the other parts of the story, like someone sacrificing themselves, for the next thing. for the child.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense, and has some beautiful drama, basically like a projectile getting in front of that to protect a child, much like how he was born, there's beauty to that script. The only part of it that would bother me in general, it makes all the metaphorical sense, and there's nothing in it that doesn't track as far as the characters, and the actors would have done great with it. He's right. Mm-hmm. The only thing that would bother me is a little bit of just my personal problem. This is on me entirely. Is just a little bit of like, a little bit of, how do I put it? Just being tired of that fucking storyline of people cheating on people.
Well, no, it's not cheating.
Oh, I know. That's not that, but it'll lean on those concepts.
There's
like for Superman, he would have come back and just nothing would be different except, oh my God, everything is.
Yeah.
But that part would have bored me a little bit, and that's entirely on me. They would have done it. They would have done it great.
What doesn't bore me is the idea that, like, you do have people who die, like veterans, people who get killed, like in the military, and then like their wife goes on to be comforted by, and then wind up marrying their best friend or some shit. And there's a lot of, like, even within the community, of people who are like judging them for that, and that would be interesting to see. A bit of judgment for Bruce and Lois. Like, Superman's dead. How could you have done that? Why are you together? This is bullshit. And it makes sense. And it's the whole, as Stephen points out in his article, it really is. It's Excalibur. It's Lancelot and Arthur. Like,
100%. No, all the story validity is there. I just the triangle thing bores me a little bit these days.
Yeah, but I think Snyder could have done it well, and I really wish we had gotten to see that.
I mean, even saying the story. Let me put it this way: even me saying that right now, if 6 months from now we got to actually watch that movie just in a different universe, I would probably still later say the triangle bored me a little bit, but it was fantastic. I mean, yeah, I have full faith in the creative process there.
Yeah. All right. You want to hit a quick break and we can go to TV?
Yeah, knock her out.
Cool, man.
Selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
As easy as pie?
Sure. All you have to do is enter your license plate or VIN.
As easy as a stroll in the park.
Okay, then just answer a few questions and you'll get a real offer in seconds.
As easy as singing.
Why not? Schedule a pickup or drop off and Carvana will pay you that amount right on the spot.
As easy as playing guitar.
Actually, I find that kind of difficult. But selling your car to Carvana is as easy as...
Can be.
Visit Carvana.com or download the app to get an instant offer today.
Are you ready for a rewarding career in the electrical industry? Quality Electric of the Coastal Carolinas, QECC, is looking for qualified electricians and electrical helpers to join its Charleston team. QECC offers guaranteed full-time hours, make up to $30 per hour with possible performance bonuses and career growth opportunities. Enjoy benefits like health insurance, dental and vision coverage, 401k plans, and more. If you're a motivated, experienced electrician, this job is for you. QECC is an equal opportunity employer. For all job inquiries, send email to hr@qeccinc.com.
All right, we are back from our break here. And look, I don't want to go into big spoilers here. As most of you probably know, Titans is in its final season. If you are not caught up with Titans on HBO Max and you're looking for some of that multiversal feeling that CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths gave you, there is a big Doom Patrol Titans Stargirl crossover happening over there. We reported on this thing months ago, but Beast Boy gets thrown into a place between dimensions. It is totally a 3D render of Grant Morrison's multiverse map, and Gar encounters several snippets and scenes and characters throughout DC on-screen history, everything from visual clips to audio and actual interactions. And I'm talking DCEU, CW animation, classic television snippets here. It is worth a watch. It is very cool. There's even a really fun cameo from someone in our universe. Check that shit out.
Yeah, I'm on it.
And this is really exciting. Neil Gaiman has confirmed that Dead Boy Detectives, which we just found out was not going to be HBO Max, or Max as it's about to be called, it was going to Netflix, but he confirms that Dead Boy Detectives is part of the Netflix Sandman universe. And to me, that is super exciting because it says that they are, confident enough in Sandman as a property that they're willing to make another show part of that universe and include stuff. And the fact that, Netflix bought it from HBO Max. I love it. I'm all about it.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
What started as a Doom Patrol spinoff now is actual Sandman universe with Netflix. I'm all about it. I'm down. Yeah,
and with it being something that's like under the Neil Gaiman umbrella of kind of he's a demigod for DC, with him in
not
charge.
Just for DC.
Well, yeah, for writing in general, frankly, but with him being attached at all, like what he can pull off as far as saying, no, I think this needs to be involved in the universe. It could be really fun. I mean, hell, that's probably how that happened.
I'll say this, man. I am a huge fan of Chuck Palahniuk. I am a huge Stephen King fan. I have read both of their books on writing. I learned many things. I feel like I get just as much knowledge out of a Neil Gaiman tweet.
Yeah.
But I also took Neil Gaiman's masterclass, so.
Yeah, I get it.
Alrighty, man. We've got some feedback. We're done with news. We've got some feedback. For now, yeah, we'll be back. On Patreon, Dr. Steve of Weird Medicine says, thanks, boys. Been missing the show. Amazing how all of a sudden all the interesting stuff is truly at Warner DC. You know what, man? I don't know that I agree with you, but I'm glad you feel that way. But, I'm a Trekkie. I'm loving what Paramount Plus is doing over there with Star Trek. I'm really excited about a lot of the Marvel stuff coming down the pike. I just like all the things, man. I don't like all the things, but I'm excited about several things.
I really don't know much about Paramount, honestly.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
I mean, not truly.
Their biggest properties are Star Trek and Mission Impossible. I don't care about Mission Impossible too much, but Star Trek, yeah.
Oh yeah, I get that. I kind of, I say that as somebody who 24 hours ago was in an office with somebody talking about how much, oh my God, I just got Paramount to watch one show and it's amazing, and okay, great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on the streaming service for sure.
Yeah.
I think Paramount Plus they've got the new SEAL Team season, which is really fantastic. And it's one of those great shows. SEAL Team is one of those great shows where, when you go to TV Time and you see people's reactions to it, the extreme liberals are angry because it's clearly just, American propaganda. And then, the conservatives are angry because it's totally woke. And and to me, that makes me happy because I'm like, that means it's actually a good show. They're hitting all the beats. People are getting pissed off on both sides. That means it's going to be good. If
everyone's pissed, we hit a point. We hit a note.
No, it's actually really good storytelling.
Yeah.
Boreanaz is killing it. But yeah,
I'm not surprised that, 25 years later or whatever it is, that he's still a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
He was great when I met him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Paramount Plus has the 1923 Yellowstone spinoff with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren.
I've heard a lot of things. Dear God, I don't care about the Yellowstone saga, but oh my God, the people around me at work are fucking enthralled with it. And what cracks me up though is the whole time they're talking about that, I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds okay. Have y'all watched Ted Lasso?
Right. I'm just saying there's a lot of quality programming on Paramount Plus. There's this Rabbit Hole show with Kiefer Sutherland, another spy show. Basically looks like a new season of 24 to me. But this Jeremy Renner, Mayor of Kingstown, looks pretty cool. Tulsa King with Stallone.
I have heard great things about Kingstown.
50 new Star Trek shows a week.
Yeah. If I was going to get it for anything, it'd be to catch up on the Star Trek stuff that, like, I know enough about the syndicated shows that I watched that I could probably, like, I would miss a lot of references, but I could probably get into the Paramount version.
I'll do you one better, man. I'll do you one better. You can use our login, create a new profile.
Don't say that on air. Jesus.
Why?
Broken some kind of law.
Oh, like, no. These $2 out of my $7 goes to Jason and his profile.
I do feel like, because I think you have Apple right now. It's like, I'll just let you share my Apple TV, login, and just like the recording would cut out. Yeah.
Well, no, I'm literally using yours.
Yeah. If you could just borrow my my Netflix
Oh, God. If you will watch Star Trek, you can have our login. I already told your wife that she could have our Paramount Plus login because she's given us the Apple login. So
like, I was unaware.
I want to watch Ted Lasso. Okay.
I was unaware. Actually, I think I have my own Apple login.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
No, we're using your wife's.
It is not to do with me. The Apple policeman cannot show up at my door.
Oh, well. Ryan Salazar at gmail.com. No, that's not his actual email address. Sorry. I'm going to write down that time. I'm going to change that. It's actually not his email, but that's weird. Ryan Salazar writes to us in email. By the way, you can send the emails to dconscreen@gmail.com. This was the person who said, why is my name always taken on Apple last week, and gave us a 5-star review. And then at the end of his review said 3 out of 5.
Nice.
Said, I figured I'd have to explain this one. It's from another podcast called Time Suck. The host went on a tangent about how people giving 2 to 4 stars, but giving rave reviews about the product/restaurant in the body of the review drives him crazy. Figured y'all would appreciate the humor. You listen to Time Suck.
I do, and yes, I absolutely get it. Dan Cummins puts it as like, it's the best thing I've ever seen. 3 out of 5. Changed my life for the better. Never could have survived without it. 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Yes, I absolutely get that
fine.
reference, and fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure, but it's all right. It's all right. Arlo_L on Apple Podcasts leaves us a review, 5 stars, called DC on Screen on Ears. Beam the DC content into my eyes and send the humoriferous commentary directly into my ears. 3 out of 5. Shout out to Giuseppe.
Nice.
And TJ Stafford.
Love the crossover
also,
event here.
Mm-hmm. TJ Stafford also on Apple gives us 5 stars. It says, never a dull moment. I've never been one to follow the news aspect of DC media. I was content to just see the stuff when it came out, but this cast has made the news fun, and I look forward to every episode.
Beautiful.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
That makes me feel good. Now, TJ and
I am
Arlo,
such a bastard, though, when he says never a dull moment. I want to be like, let's leave 5 minutes of silent air in the fucking recording.
Yeah, you are a bastard.
Yeah, I am terrible and can't be trusted. I'm deeply grateful you're around.
Well, TJ, Arlo, you're in the giveaway, and the giveaway is done now. So here's what we do. You're going to write us at dconscreen@gmail.com, and we will send you your code for Batman the Doom that came to Gotham. Thank you for the reviews there. On Twitter, Nerdytastic says, I was the one screaming Marlowe in my head during your podcast discussion of Shakespeare.
I got there eventually. I'm sorry for the mental torture I put you through, though.
Oh, God. That's funny.
I knew. I knew that was so fucking simple.
I always just feel so bad about
Someone
that.
was going to be mad about it. Yep. Yep.
Well, I think that wraps up this episode of DC on Screen. That's all I've got.
Let's call it.
Cool. If you are interested in extra content, we're brewing some up, and I don't think we'll have any this episode, but last episode, like I said, we had an extended episode that was Patreon exclusive. So if you want to do that, patreon.com/DC on Screen. You can write to us on Twitter or Instagram at DC on Screen. You can send us an email, dconscreen@gmail.com. All over the place, y'all. We're on Facebook from time to time. Occasionally. But, yeah. In just 3 days, the Flash trailer drops. And so we should, we'll at least have a new episode that week. Next week. This coming week is what I mean. And we'll at least talk about that. I'm sure more things are coming. Because James Gunn just won't stop using Twitter. All right, y'all. Until next time, keep some DC on your screen.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.